What's up, brother, and welcome back to the channel. Generally, this is Ash's Reality Recaps, but today we're going to jump back into a quick update on my wife and baby. Today, little man is 14 days old, so we are 2 weeks old as of today, and everything is going fantastic. We had his follow-up appointment on Monday for his weight check. He did regain back to his birth weight. He's actually an ounce over his birth weight, which is fantastic. My wife is recovering incredibly well, way better than the first time we went through this whole process. So her recovery this time has been fantastic. She's able to get up and down the steps pretty easy. I have to keep catching her trying to lift things because she still has some lifting restrictions on that side of it. But as for the most part, very proud of where she's coming, where she's going, the strength that she's shown in getting through all of this. And obviously having two under two at this point, they are nonstop. So sleep is at a premium when we can get it. But just incredibly proud of my wife and everything that she's gone through and recovery she's getting. Which brings me to April is Cesarean Awareness Month, C-Section Awareness Month. Now, this is one of those topics that, being the man or the male in the relationship, we don't take this into consideration a lot. A C-section, they go in, they cut your wife open and they take the baby out. There's no vaginal birth or anything along that lines. And as a guy, we tend to not really know a lot about the topic, in all honesty. But for my wife, back during the first one, she had placenta previa. If you know what that is, it's just a complication, and the C-section was something that was necessary because we ended up being almost 4.5 weeks early, 6 weeks early, honestly. Being in a hospital and going through, pre-water breaking and the whole 9 yards, and it was just very touch and go through that process. So the C-section was the only thing that we could do in order for her and the baby to stay safe. So it was a necessity at that point. Complications during the C-section, my wife had to have a T cut. It was a T incision. They actually had to cut her muscles, so the recovery from that was incredibly difficult. We knew coming out of that one that if we wanted to have a second one, that we was going to have to go through another C-section. Obviously, there was some fear behind that because the recovery from the first one, when you look at postpartum depression and everything that women have to deal with after pregnancy, after birth, it's a real thing. So there's that fear of the recovery process and the potential for postpartum depression, and having a 2 under 2, and my wife not feeling like she's doing enough, which we actually had a conversation about this today, where I think we both go back and forth, but we don't feel like we're doing enough. But in all honesty, we're both doing so much on a daily basis, and thankfully our communication is there to let each other know what we're doing and what we're not doing. We just kind of see that we're constantly pushing forward and doing what we can with getting the older one dressed, feeding, cleaning the house, the animals, and everything that just goes on a day-to-day basis. That we truly understand that we're both doing everything we possibly can do, and it's just that verbal reaffirmation that we give each other, and I definitely have to give her to let her know that I'm so proud of her and she's doing everything she can do and trying to get her to relax and calm down so she can recover completely. But it's definitely a big challenge on that side. But C-section awareness is one of the things I just wanted to talk about real quick, because for a female, for my wife, it's one of them things where there's a stigma on it. And there's a very large audience out there that's against the C-section, and they feel the C-section is unnecessary. And everything that I've read, there probably are some cases where it potentially is. But look, it's the choice of the parents on how they want to do it. But there are some certain situations and circumstances where it's necessary. It's mandatory. But at the same time, from my wife's point of view, she missed out on a lot of stuff that she wishes she could have, experienced. The natural birth, that whole process of, going through the pushing, and I understand that it's painful, but that whole process of the pushing and that interaction and that immediate bonding of the baby with the C-section, they do the process, they do the C-section, they check the baby. My wife has to go to recovery, the baby has to go be looked at, and then they eventually bring the baby in. But that whole process of just bonding is kind of not there for the C-section, which is very tough. The first C-section we went through said it was so touch and go. I'll just say it was so touch and go that my daughter had to go straight into the NICU, which the NICU is for preemies. We had the whole preemie experience. And my wife didn't get to bond with our daughter for 24 hours initially. She didn't even see our daughter for 24 hours. So that just weighed on her constantly, and it weighed on her heading into this C-section of, oh my God, I have to go through another C-section. What if they take him and I don't get to see him for 24 hours? Like that's just one of those build-up things. Thankfully, the C-section was a traditional C-section, and little man got to come straight into the recovery room with us, and my wife got to actually see the process of them, doing his tests and hearing him crying and just having that kind of emotional bond and being able to do skin time by the end of the night. So that was a fantastic experience on that side. But again, C-section awareness, guys, if you don't know what it is, if your wives are going through it, just take time and kind of read up on it and understand that it's tough. It's a tough process for them, and that there's a very large audience of individuals out there that disagree with it, and they kind of put that peer pressure on ladies to not go through with it. But look, just do the research, find out what it is, experience, make your own opinion of it. Again, I understand people have opinions, pros and cons of it. For us, the first time it was necessary to save the life of my daughter and make sure that my wife was healthy. And the second time it was mandatory because the way that they had to do the incision on the first time to, again, save my daughter and make sure my wife was healthy, that she wasn't able to experience the contractions because it could have possibly caused internal bleeding and stuff. So there are definitely situations out there where it's necessary and it does save lives. So thankfully, having gone through that process again, everybody's healthy, everybody's safe. We're at this point we're tapping out on having kids. We're healthy at 2. I have 4 altogether, but it's just glad that that's done. But again, April is C-section awareness month. All the ladies out there that have gone through having a C-section, I hope you had quick recoveries on your side. I'm sure you have way more stories than I could ever tell from my side as being the man. But just understand that there is a group of us out there that understand what you went through, definitely support your recovery, and understand that it is a necessary process that just needs to occur for, babies and wives, women to stay healthy and have a healthy birth. So, yeah, that's my baby and wife update. Again, he is 2 weeks old. My oldest daughter with my wife will be 2 here in a couple months. So we are getting into those terrible twos, which is a completely different situation, and that she is just wild. It's awesome. It's fantastic. I love the energy, but we're still trying to get those verbal cues down from her. And one of the big things that she knows is no. So we get no a lot. Even when she means yes, she says no. So trying to work through that confusion and not get frustrated with her. But it's fantastic. Wouldn't trade it for the world. And that is my baby and wife update. Talk to you later.